I came to Islam because I was searching for something that was missing in my life. And I felt this void of this missing piece really from the time I was an early adolescent until the time I was in my early 20s. And I didn't know what was missing. I just knew that there was some important missing piece in my life, and my life didn't have enough meaning without this thing that I was missing. So, like a typical teenager, I tried to fill this void with social activities, with friends, with, at different points in your life when you're worried about different things. So then I was in my senior year. It was time to go to university. I had gotten accepted at a very nice school, and I was ready to go, but I wasn't really ready to go. I was burnt out. And I told my parents, I really would like to take off a year and travel. And some of my friends were doing that. And to my great surprise, my father agreed with that plan. So I decided to go to Israel. Many Jewish kids from the States go. They go like for 1 year, and it's a heritage type trip. You're discovering your roots and that kind of thing. So I went. I was living on a kibbutz with other people from all around the world, actually. Lots of youth from all around the world. It was a great experience. And traveling around the country, and I really liked the life on the kibbutz, the communal farm life, and this idea of community. And I started thinking, I don't really need to go to university. Why don't I just stay here? Well, at that time you wrote letters home. We didn't have the internet, right? So I was writing letters home to my parents, and one of my letters said that. And the next thing I know, my parents and my grandmother and my brother decided to take a trip to Israel to visit me. Basically to convince me that no, you are not going to live here for the rest of your life. You are coming home and you're going to university in the fall. Right? So, alhamdulillah, that's good. That was Allah's plan, so that's what happened. At that time, I was going to Hebrew school. I was going to get bas mitzvah, so I was learning a little bit about the Jewish faith. But mainly what you learn is about the Jewish people, who are the chosen people, according to Jewish tradition. And not much about God, just about people. The idea is that Abraham invented monotheism. And, this is what I was taught. So I had a brief encounter with Judaism, wondering still, who is God and what does he have to do with me, basically. So I went through my teenage years searching and trying to figure that out. I tried transcendental meditation, which was very big on Long Island at the time. My friends and I got involved with that. And that, I think, was my first connection to any kind of really spiritual practice, the practice of meditation. So that was eye-opening, and that lasted for a little while. And then life went on, as it does. So I was looking for meaning in my life, and I didn't know where to find it. So, like a typical teenager, I looked for it in my friends, in my various activities and things that I was doing. You get busy at different points in your life. You have to worry about university, so you're worrying about your school and your studies, etc., etc. And I did all those things, but I still felt like there's a missing piece. And one day I actually asked my mother, I was sitting in the back of the car, and I asked her, Ma, is this all there is to life? And she just said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, I'm a good student, I'm going to school, I'm trying to get into a good college, have a career, get married, etc., etc. But is that all there is to life? Because, and I got very dramatic, I said, because if that's all there is, I'm not sure I want to live. And I really felt this way. I was only like 12 or 13 years old. As a matter of fact, we had just come back from the doctors because my mother had thought something must be wrong with this child. Okay. The doctor said nothing's wrong with her. And then we had this conversation in the car. And I saw her through the rear view mirror, through the mirror. She's driving. I'm sitting in the back. All of a sudden, she like clenched the steering wheel a little bit tighter. She looked at me in the mirror and she said, "Do you really mean this, or are you just saying it to annoy me?" So I backed off. I said, "Yeah, Mom, I don't really mean it." Another experience was when I went to the Wailing Wall, and what observant Jews do is they put notes into that wall with little prayers on it, and they pray at the wall. And I was standing there and I was like, well, I know I should feel something here, but I don't. So why don't I? When I came back to the U.S., it was time to start university, and I did that, but I made sure to take a course on the Old Testament as part of my coursework my first year. Because I really thought, okay, if I'm going to develop some kind of faith, which is what I wanted, what I experienced in Israel was that I should be feeling something, and I'm not, so why not? Palestine is the land, it's the Holy Land. And when you're there, you feel it. Prophets have walked on that land. Peace be upon them all. One of the prophets, Moses, climbed Mount Sinai and received the 10 Commandments from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the top of that mountain. And we climbed that mountain. It was a very special experience. I can't really describe how it affected me exactly, except that it did affect me deeply to be climbing that mountain in the middle of the night and to reach the top at dawn with the beautiful sky. There's a small shrine up there, and it's a place for reflection and meditation and prayer. And I went into that little shrine, and I don't remember what I said in there, but I do remember some feeling that I got from being in there. So all these incidents are adding up and becoming part of my spiritual consciousness, let me say.